They have now won through last night 4 of their past 5. 7-6. The Bears are a game and a half behind the Vikings and 2.5 games behind the division leading Packers. All right. That's the impressive thing. They've been playing well. But look at the wins, okay? They've beaten the Lions twice. It gets
gross.
I think it gets more disgusting. They beat the Giants.
I
think
gross.
If I'm ranking them in ranking form, I think I take the Lions easily over the Giants. And then last night they beat the Cowboys, who are better than the Giants, but are also a dumpster fire. And those wins, so 2 wins over Detroit, 1 win over the Giants, Danny, and the win last night over Dallas, have come by 7, 5, 4, and 7 points. So do I take the Bears seriously? Here's the issue. They've got left on their schedule. They've got the Packers left. They've got the Vikings left. I don't know that I take them seriously in the fact that they've gotten hot, but I guess my question is this. They seem to traditionally give the Vikings problems.
Yeah.
So I'm not dismissing them for coming in here in the final week of the regular season and causing problems. But when I give you 2 wins against Detroit, a win against the Giants, who are just the Giants haven't won since when? Late September or something like that? We talked about that?
September 27th.
Okay.
The day the baseball season ended was their last win.
And the
New York Mets have won more recently than the New York Giants.
And I believe that the Cowboys have lost 4 of their past 5, and I think that 1 win, if I'm correct about this, was against the Giants. It's not exactly like the Bears are beating up on even halfway good teams right now.
No, the Bears are still not contenders. The Bears still are not good. Are we really going to all of a sudden think that Mitch Trubisky has figured it out because he's played Detroit twice, New York once, and a Dallas team that isn't interested in playing football? I don't think so, Judd.
But my only problem is I'm hesitant to dismiss them as far as that last game here because they've got a good enough defense. And here's what I thought about that Week 17 game when the Bears were 3-5, Danny. My thought on that was by the last week of the season, the Bears will basically have quit, right? They'll have quit on Trubisky. They'll have quit on Nagy. The defense as well will just be done. Now,
and that could still be the case.
Now I'm not positive. Now
I think it could still be the case.
Do you?
I mean, if you look at what they would have to do to try and sneak their way into the playoff picture, yes, they've looked good recently, but we have to remember that this is still a team that, I mean, currently sitting for the Bears, they're 7-6. They're still a ways out of the playoffs.
They were 3-5.
Like it's been a nice couple of weeks for them because they've played a bunch of nobodies. I mean, if you get to go up against Matt Patricia's team twice and the Cowboys that have quit and New York, you're going to win games no matter who you are.
Now, here's the good news. I've got some good news too, all right? And it pertains to what we saw last night from the Bears and the Bears themselves. Mitch Trubisky, first 7 games of this year, Danny, 3-4. 63% of his passes were completed. 5 touchdowns, 3 picks. Not good. His QB rating at that time was 80, and he was sacked 17 times. His past 5 games, Mitch, 4-1. Completion percentage going from 63% to 67%. 11 touchdowns, 5 picks. Rating now in those past 5 games, 95.4, and sacked 11 times. If you are a Vikings or Packers fan, you got to be giddy at the fact that the Bears might be actively right now convincing themselves, you know what? There could be something here. There could be. You know what? Mitch
Rule
Trubisky,
number 1 has to be don't get hooked, right?
Well, and you're not, and I'm not, and I think Vikings fans don't think that Trubisky is good, and I'm guessing Packers fans. But you know as well as I do, and Danny, I saw this at the end of, I want to say, the 2012 season in the month of December with Christian Ponder. I saw this exact thing happen.
Yep.
You see him play well, and Trubisky's looking pretty good. He's making some throws right now. and you think to yourself, man, it's a high draft pick, and in Trubisky's case, not just high, incredibly high. And your fan base, and more importantly, your team and your coaches think to themselves, I wonder, there might be something here. And if I'm a Vikings or Packers fan, I am relishing the Bears' success from that standpoint, because I don't believe that when it comes to Trubisky, it's real at all. But if Ryan Pace and Nagy and that team say, yeah, you know what, Mitch has turned a corner, it is great news for you for 2020 and possibly 21.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Judd. If the Bears for some reason want to invest in Mitch Trubisky this offseason, I think that the Wilf family and that all of the fake owners that own the Packers, I mean people that have their paper certificates,
They've got, come on, man, they've got
should
certificates. They've got, yeah.
They should all be
$100.
willing to chip in to the Chicago Bears to try and make that happen. If the Bears need a little bit of extra money, send them a 20. Just make it happen. Everybody pitch in and try and keep Mitch Trubisky in Chicago if you are a fan of the Packers or the Bears, or the Packers or the Vikings.
Couldn't you see that, though, possibly? Couldn't you see the potential? Because Pace drafted him, and Nagy got there and had success, certainly, in 2018. Couldn't you see them trying to say, man, you know what? He's played these last 5 games. He's playing well. And as I told you, you beat Detroit twice. You beat the Giants. You could beat the Giants. And the Cowboys, if they cared, are a different story. But that was clearly a team that didn't care. I could see a scenario playing out here where we go from there's no way Mitch Trubisky is back as your quarterback for the Chicago Bears in 2020 to them giving this a shot, which I believe will fail miserably, but it's great news.
Do we think that Ryan Pace is going to be the one that's able to make that decision, though, Judd? Do we think that? I don't think that ownership should give him that type of leeway here.
They shouldn't.
He hasn't
they're winning.
Earned that.
He hasn't, but they're winning again now. That's the problem. That's the whole thread here. The whole thread is if Ryan Pace can get to the McCaskies and tell, hey, look, he's played pretty well, and Nagy comes along and says, yeah, you know what? It's not been, it's been pretty good this last month plus. He shouldn't, but teams often make, especially when you've drafted the guy this highly, teams often make dumb decisions that bite them. And a month and a half back, we all said Trubisky's done there. And now I could see it. I could at least see a discussion where Ryan Pace says, give me and him more time. 651-646-8255. Viking Ventline is the show. As always, we are taking phone calls. We're in the TCL broadcast studios. North Carolina, Kilroy, what's up?
What's going on with you, man?
How are you?
All right, I'm good, man. This right here is really not a bet. It's just the game Monday night. I'm just frustrated with the way Zimmer approached the game. I'd rather for Russell Wilson to beat me throwing the ball than Seattle running the ball. I still can't figure out how come it wasn't 8 men in the box on every play. Because Russell is good, but his receivers are not that good, in my opinion. And for all the callers called in yesterday about Xavier Rhodes, Xavier Rhodes is still good. It's just a mind thing with him.
You think? So, I think I think it's physical, Kilroy.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Watch him if you get to see some replays. Watch him trying to run. He's having trouble keeping up.
Well, you would too if you let the guy go by.
I'm saying consistently though. No, but I'm saying consistently. He consistently is.
Okay, so would you rather see Holton Hill there instead of Xavier?
I'd like to see some combination of Hughes, Hill, Rhodes, something, because Rhodes is not going to be benched. We know that. But I'd like to see a combination where Rhodes is not playing. I believe on Monday, Kilroy, he played 80% of the snaps. That's too many, I think.
Well, you may have a point, but Mike Hughes, to me, that's a wasted draft pick because every time you see this guy cover anybody, he got great technique, but his awareness, Xavier Rhodes' awareness, and Trey Wayne's awareness, I've never seen a football team with cornerbacks never look back for the ball. Man, we could lead the league in interceptions if they just turn around and play use your awareness. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't get it.
Yep.
Don't get it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the phone call. Take care.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Danny, your thoughts?
They have to figure out something at corner, right? They have to try. And Zimmer hasn't done this, and I think it's bad coaching. I think that it's something that's hindered the team.
If you had brought 8 men into the box consistently in that game and said, we are going to sell out to stop the run, guess what? Kilroy's
You would
right.
have been cooked in the past.
Kilroy's right. Seattle's receivers aren't that great, but guess who is great? Russell Wilson.
Their quarterback. Yeah.
Exactly.